Hello and welcome everyone to my channel. Today we're going to be starting some more seeds. It's a beautiful day. It's hard to believe that February is almost halfway over. But we've had a mild winter and we're looking forward to our gardening season, and today we're going to be starting the bulk of our pepper seeds. So welcome. You can join me and we can have a chat and we can do some gardening. So as I said, welcome to a seed starting day. So I'd like to say welcome to all my new subscribers, and if you're already subscribed, welcome back. I'm so happy to see you here. So yeah, we're going to be starting some seeds today. I know it's time. I know a lot of gardeners are starting a lot of their seeds, especially stuff that takes a little longer to get going, like the peppers. I'm also going to be doing my petunias today and just a handful of tomatoes. I have a special experiment that I want to do with the tomatoes. We've had an exceptionally mild winter, with the exception of, there was about 3 or 4 days in January that we literally hit minus 40 degrees Celsius. So, but aside from that, it's been very mild. So the sun is shining right now. I didn't check what the temperature was, but it's quite mild. I know the snow is melting off the roof of the house. We've got a little bit of snow, not a lot, and if that mild weather trend stays, I'm thinking we might be able to get some tomatoes planted in the hoop house a little earlier, and fingers crossed, maybe we'll have some early tomatoes and cucumbers for the market. Speaking of markets, we had our first vendor market of the year yesterday. It was the Valentine market in Meadow Lake. So that was, it was slow in the morning, but then it picked up. So we did actually end up doing quite well at the market with the jams and the jellies and the honey. And the honey is always a big seller in this area, so we always do really well with the honey. So yeah, it ended up being a good day for us. And then last night before we went to bed, we actually got all of our pepper seeds, our hot pepper seeds, soaking. So they're just soaking in some tea. I brewed up a pot of tea before we left for the market, so that when we got home, it would be cold and it would be strong enough. So the tannins in the tea are supposed to help soften the seed coat and then help the seeds germinate. So some of these, we're probably going to end up overseeding a little bit, because some of the seed is old, some of it's from a number of different sources. Some of it we got in seed trades. So when I was putting them into soak, a lot of the seeds were floating. So I don't know if we're going to get any decent germination off of them, even if it's been soaked. But we're going to have a go anyway. So I'm just going to firm up my soil a little bit. I got it all ready to go. Like I said, it's hard to believe that February is half over almost. It's today's the 11th of February. The 14th is Wednesday. Oh my. Before we know it, we're going to be out in the garden. Spring will be here. Okay, I'm going to start with some jalapenos, but I've also got lots of hot ones here. So like I said, I think I counted out maybe 20 seeds in here. Some of them will be for us, for the garden, for the market garden, and some will be for the plant sale. And hopefully, if we have any left over, they can go in the garden too from the plant sale. So the tea I'm just going to pour over. I'm just going to pour it into the seed cells. There's no reason why you can't do that. And then I'm going to multi-sow these. It does mean a little more work transplanting when they're ready for transplanting, but it saves on space. And I don't mind transplanting stuff. I actually find it quite an enjoyable task to do. So I'm just gonna put a few seeds in each cell. Just like that. It's the only downside is when they're wet, they stick to your fingers. But, that's okay. There we go. So there's one round of jalapeno seeds. And then we'll I'll just cover that with some soil, and I'll get myself a tag, and we'll keep going with my seeds today. So tell me, are you starting seeds today? Are you starting anything this early? I know, like here in northern Saskatchewan, like I said, we've had a mild winter. We still have snow on the ground, and we still can't get into the gardens themselves, but we can get other stuff going and ready, kind of thing. But what are you doing? What are you doing today to help your garden grow for the season? We've got so many things that we want to do. I know we're wanting to expand a lot. I'll have to show you in a bit some of the peppers that we started on the 1st of January. They look pretty good. We also started a handful of cucumbers because Glenn wanted to experiment with some hydroponics, but well, the plants are ready, but you know, we're so busy with so many other things that he just hasn't had time to get on with that. So there we go. Yeah, so it's just been going great guns. You know, it never stops. It never slows down. We always seem to have lots of things on the go. So next I am going to do, let's see what else. We've got some interesting varieties in here. We've got a couple of Jamaican, we got a Jamaican Scotch bonnet and just a Scotch bonnet. So the difference between the two is the Scotch bonnet, I believe, is red, and the Jamaican Scotch bonnet has sort of golden orange, golden yellow pods. So the Jamaican Scotch bonnet, I actually saved these seeds from plants that we tried to winter them over. We did bring them in because we had 3 plants and they were loaded with pods, and so we thought, well, let's try and at least bring them in and get them to the fruit to ripen and to finish off. So I did save some of those seeds. So I'm hoping these are viable and that they will grow, and then we can have some more, because they were quite a beautiful plant, beautiful plant. So I think I'm going to try those. And I'm just going to keep on going here, and then maybe what I'll do is I'll give you a peek at what we started back in January. Okay, so these are some of the stuff that we planted on the 1st of January. So they're doing quite well. We've got some bell peppers, we've got some jalapenos, we've got a lot of super hot peppers in here. What else we got here? We got some 7-pot primo, we've got a Maruga scorpion. What else we got in here? There's Dorset Naga, habanero fire, you know, and of course we got a few cucumbers that we started early. There's some peri peri at the back. So yeah, everything is looking really well. We're quite happy. Glenn did give these guys a shot of fertilizer, so he made sure they got what they needed, and he actually did the transplanting on these ones. So yeah, they're looking good. The other thing I want to show you, since I am going to be starting some petunia seeds, is this guy. This is a petunia. It was a volunteer petunia that was growing in a pot with a pepper. The pepper plant died, but the petunia is looking quite nice. This, I believe, this is a Super Cascade Blue. Is probably what it is. Yeah, isn't that stunning? It needs a haircut, but I might wait till maybe March, and then maybe if we get the hoop house going with the cucumbers and the tomatoes, maybe I'll pot it up into a different pot with some fresh soil, give it a haircut, and put it out in the hoop house. That's quite cool. I've heard of other people wintering over petunias or saving seed from them, but I've never done it myself, so that looks awesome. Okay, so I just thought I'd share some of the other varieties that we're starting for our hot peppers. So we've got some unique ones that I've never heard of, and then there's some that'll be familiar to you if you're really into hot peppers and stuff. We've got the 3 Sugar Rush. We got the Sugar Rush Stripe, we got the Sugar Rush Peach, and the Sugar Rush Red. Like I said, we're probably going to end up overseeding on these, but it seems to me last year we had trouble with germination on some of these. So we've also got the 7-pot Primo. We've got Borg 9, which Glenn likes because it's a Star Trek reference. We got the Golden Primo Chilli. We got one called Scarlet Rose. You should look this up. It's really cool looking. As is the Dreamcatcher Pepper. Look up Dreamcatcher Pepper. It's really pretty. It's an ornamental. It's more of an ornamental one, but it's really pretty. So that's my pick because I thought it was pretty. Dorset Naga. We got the 7-pot Bubblegum. We've got Ring of Fire, which is a variety of cayenne pepper, and the cayenne pepper is my favorite. It's the one that I use the most in the kitchen. Like I will use it if I'm making soup stock, like if I've got beef bones or a chicken or turkey carcass that I'm simmering up to make some soup stock. I will throw a couple of hot peppers into that. I will also use them dry, the dried ones, not the fresh, but the dried. I'll also use I'll crush one up and throw it into the pot when I'm making rice, so I can have some spicy rice. We've also got a white habanero, which looked really cool when I saw it. I thought it was just a very striking plant. These dark green leaves with these white pepper pods looked really cool. We've got a Primo chocolate. We've got a golden cayenne. So it's a cayenne pepper that's sort of that golden yellow color. We got a chocolate habanero. We got a Kangstar variety here called Chocolate Factory. So I'm not sure what that's going to look like, but it might be interesting. And then we've got some hot cherry peppers. So these should start okay, but the place where this is last year's seed, and the place that we ordered from, I know some of their seed was a bit not questionable, but it didn't seem to germinate very well, and the plants didn't seem very vigorous. I mean, they grew, and we actually, got, in the end, the plants were quite strong and healthy, but they seemed to be slow off the mark kind of thing. So those are all the hot peppers that I am doing today. I'm also going to be doing some sweet peppers, which I haven't totally narrowed down all of the varieties that I'm growing, but yeah, I know the Canary Bell, the Orange Bell, we've got chocolate, sweet chocolate, some basic, we've got an Atlantic bell pepper, I've got an Italian sweet pepper, the Corbacci. These are cool, although I think I might start these just to use up the seed because the seed is getting a bit old, so I need to use it up. We've got some Zulus, and then there's a bunch of other ones in here that I may or may not start. We seem to have a overabundance of, the Cubanelles. That was another one. We had really good luck. The Cubanelles actually did not bad last year for us, as did the Poblanos and the Anaheims did quite well in the garden last year. They were a bit late, but then that's, our season is quite short for us. So I think peppers are kind of one of those things that just barely make our season, which is why we do start them quite early in the year. So yeah, I'm going to continue with that. So please tell me, why are you growing peppers? Do you like hot peppers? Maybe you don't like hot peppers. I mean, everybody has their own level of heat tolerance, and I'm told that you can build up your heat tolerance gradually. Like, you don't want to go off chomping down on a ghost pepper right away, but if you build up to it, then it's not so bad. And like, I don't mind, like, I wouldn't mind trying just a tiny sliver of a ghost pepper, but there's no way I'm going to be chomping down on the whole thing. Absolutely not. That would be painful. And I wouldn't want to do that. But I don't mind trying just a tiny sliver of it. That'd be more than enough for me, just so I can say that yes, I tried it. Okay, so that was our 7-pot Primo. We got the Borg 9. So some of these we did get in a trade with somebody. So I am way overseeding these for the cells, but again, I'm uncertain of the germination rate on these, so that's why I am overseeding it a little bit. So, but you can do that. It is okay to multi-sow like this. I know a lot of people don't do it, but when space is at a premium, and I don't mind that step of having to pull them apart. You just have to be careful, take your time, not be in a rush, and then everything's good. Now we've got some golden primutale. Yes, and then, you know, hot peppers have definitely become very trendy lately. Everything's all about hot sauce and hot. How hot can you make it? But I don't. Making stuff that is stupid hot or so hot that it's actually toxic, I'm not sure if I'm on board with that, because what's the point? What's the point if you can't actually enjoy it? I mean, some people are all about the endorphin rush from the pain that it causes, but I'm not into that, you know? I'd rather have something that's hot but has a nice flavor, you know, that's not gonna, you know, cause any injuries kind of thing. But yeah, that whole hot pepper industry is just quite the thing. I know we're not, well, we're into growing peppers. We're not involved with the pepper community at all. Like, I'm not sure that I want to be. But so this is the scarlet rose. Like I said, go take a look at this online. It looked really cool. Another one of these lovely ornamental ones that would make a nice display in a pot on your patio or doorstep or deck. There's only about 4 seeds in there anyway, so that's not too bad. There we go. Scarlet rose. So what do you think about some of these sort of communities, as they call them, like the hot pepper community? I don't know if there's such thing as a tomato community. Probably there is, but I never sought out that sort of thing to belong to it for the sake of belonging to it. Like, if I have questions that I need answers for, yeah, I'll try and look them up and find, you know, answers that I need, but oh well, that's just me, I guess. I guess I'm too much of an introvert to really pay attention, but I've also found that online communities just don't work for me. You know, I'd rather go to, you know, something that's live in person, you know, than spend time on an online community, because I don't know, we all spend too much time in front of our computers or in front of our screens and stuff like that. I think I'd rather interact. Even though I am an introvert, I would rather go to a live in-person event kind of thing. So these are the 7-pot bubble gum. Pour that in there, just like that. There we go. I mean, some online communities are okay. They're very supportive. And others just feel very toxic. So, I don't know. What are your opinions and thoughts on some of these online communities and groups? And, you know, I do follow a few groups on Facebook, but I'm not the most active in them. Like, I do try to contribute a little bit, but I figure there's always people out there who know far more than what I do. So I usually just think, whatever. You know, I'm there usually to pick up tips and hints myself. So, but anyway, I'm going to continue on with the hot peppers and the sweet peppers, and then we will do the petunias. Okay, so I am finished with all of my peppers. So bell peppers, hot peppers are all done. Got a forest of tags. So I'm moving on to my tomatoes. So I'm not starting very many, just a handful. My plan with these, if we continue to have a mild weather, is to make use of some of that heat and that mildness. We do have a hoop house on the farm. My plan is to get these going and then hopefully plant it out into the hoop house where it'll be warm. There are ways to insulate small plants from extreme cold, but obviously not extreme cold, but if it's only a few degrees below freezing, there are methods to protect. Even if we can't heat the whole entire hoop house, we can do things, and we can move them if they're in pots. So my plan with these is to get them started, get them big, get them into some pots, some bigger pots, and then into the hoop house. Hopefully, probably by mid-March, we can do that. Get them into the hoop house. Do the cordon method with the string to support them. And then, fingers crossed, my ultimate plan or my ultimate goal is to have tomatoes, at least maybe cherry tomatoes, by our first farmer's market in June. So yes, I'm excited to try this because, if we've got a mild weather, we might as well take advantage of it, because mild winters like this are very rare. Normally our winters are not this mild. We usually have brutally cold winters. Usually February is one of the worst, coldest months that we can have. March is often quite stormy. We often get a lot of snow and or rain in March. So I'm hoping that at the very least the mild temperatures will hold. So what I'm starting today is I've got a triple crop from Emma Gardner. I thought this would be a good one to grow. They're moderate sized tomatoes, nice tall vining plants that can grow all they want in the hoop house. We'll string them up. I'm only starting like maybe, I've kind of counted how much room we got, and I'm thinking if we have one side of the hoop house will be like slicers, so I'm thinking probably 6 seeds for the triple crop. So I'm just gonna put 1, 2, 3. And then in the next cell, I'll put another 3 seeds. Oh. 1, 2, 3. There's 2 there. Okay. There. Even if I had an extra one in there, it's okay. So that's the triple crop. Put some soil on that. Top of those. Warm up nice. There we go. The next one I thought I would do for just a red tomato was the Jersey Devil. So it's a paste tomato. So I thought it would be nice to have both a nice slicer and a paste tomato that's early and available. So there's not a lot of seeds left in this packet, so I'm just going to plant everything out. And so we don't have to put them all into the hoop house if we don't want to. So I think there's like 5 seeds there, so we'll just put 3 in one, 2 in the other. Just cover them up. Go. Okay, so that's what I had for the larger slicers. Now the rest, I wanted to do cherry tomatoes, and then I've allowed some room for some cucumbers as well. So it'd be nice to have some early cucumbers. So the first cherry tomato that I'm going to do is called Sweet Aperitif. This is my absolute favorite cherry tomato. I don't know if you can see the photo. That's one of my own photos on the tag there. This is one of my absolute favorite cherry tomatoes. It is so super sweet. And I figured 3 of each of the cherry tomatoes would be lots. This variety gets nice long trusses of tomatoes that hang down. It's quite attractive. 3 of those should be plenty. I do prefer, when it comes to like cherry tomatoes, I do prefer the ones that do have the long trusses. I have grown the multifloras before. So a multiflora is something like Barry's Crazy Cherry is a multiflora. I don't care for that type because they get these huge masses, absolute masses of flowers, and then these masses of fruit, which is great, in a way, but I've found that they seem to fall off the plant quite easily. And then of course the plant itself is so heavy laden. It was hard. I grew the Barry's Crazy Cherry a couple of years ago, and it was almost impossible to give the plant the support it needed to support physically the weight of all of those cherry tomatoes, and so the branches were just hanging down on the ground because we could not figure out how to support these things. So yeah, well, flavor-wise, it was really nice. It tasted wonderful, but in terms of plant and growth habit, I tend to steer clear of the multifloras. So, but that's just me. You know, what do you think? What do you think about the multifloras versus the ones that have the nice long big trusses? I prefer the long trusses myself, but you know, what's your experience with those? You know, just I'd like to know, because you know, every gardener has their own methodology and their own likes and dislikes kind of thing. So the next one I'm going to be doing is Napa Chardonnay. So for the cherry tomatoes, I tried to pick, you know, like a nice red one. I picked a white or yellow one, so that's the Napa Chardonnay. I've also got a chocolate cherry, which is sort of a darker red. It's not black, so it's sort of more of a brown, dark red. And then I've also got Brad's Atomic Grape. Those are my picks for the hoop house tomato garden. Hopefully they'll do well. So I'm just going to do 3 of the Napa Chardonnay. Come on. There's 2. One more. Come on. Oh, there's 3. There we go. 3 of those. Some soil on that. Push them down just a tiny bit. So it's Napa Chardonnay. So I'm going to do the Brad's Atomic Grapes. Now I drew this about 3 years ago now. They're really nice. I love them. They're great. And we actually took some to the farmer's market. And we had a lady who just loved them. She came back, you know, looking for them. And then even like I didn't grow them last year. And I think I grew them the year before. But they were so late producing that we couldn't take them to the market. It took too long. And then of course last year the lady who bought them from us, absolutely loved them. She kept coming back to the farmer's market looking for more of them. So I thought, well, this year maybe we'll get them going extra early and we'll get them in the hoop house, and then hopefully we will have a nice good harvest of these in time for the market. So I'm going to do 3 of these as well, and that should be plenty for the hoop house. So I do need to leave room for the cucumbers. There we go, and maybe a pepper or 2 in there, so we can put the peppers outside at least. There we go. Box, back of the bag. And then my last variety is the chocolate cherry. So chocolate cherry. This has a nice flavor. It looks nice. It technically is supposed to be an heirloom. I know sometimes it's hard to find because often you'll see the black cherry tomatoes, but the chocolate cherry is the one that I actually prefer. There's not that much in the way of seed in there. I was only going to start 3, but you know what? I think I might start the whole pack, and then that gets that packet of old seed out of the seed box. So oh my God, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got what, 7 here? So yeah, we'll start them all, and I can always sell some at the market, or you know, at the plant sale kind of thing. Put them out in the garden, the extra ones, instead of in the hoop house. So there we go, that's done. Just need an extra tag. There we go, done and done. So now that I'm done that, I'm going to move on to the petunias. Okay, so I've got my petunia seeds here. I'm having to kind of switch gears and think about how I want to do this. I've got my tray mixed up. These I'm using 9 cell packs. There's 9s. I've got several different varieties. I've got Tritunia mix. I've got Easy Wave mix. I've got Kenny Pops Spring mix. I've got a Tritunia Blue Star. I've got a Limbo Pastel Mix and the Evening Sensation. So my initial thoughts is most of these are going to be sold, like most of these are going to be for sale, for the plant sale, and most of them are going to be sold in the 3-inch pots. These pots, these ones that we have, these are like 3-inch pots. The only ones that I'm going to be putting into like 4-packs are probably going to be the Tritunia Mix. So since I've already got my 9 cell packs already mixed up here, I'm just going to start with the other ones. I'm going to leave the Tritunia Mix for now, and I think I'm going to start maybe I'll start with the Candy Pops Concord Spring Mix. They look kind of cool. I don't know if you can actually make out the photo on there. They got nice colors with like a yellow center in them, so that might be interesting. Let's open them up here. Now, I've watched numerous videos. You know, I started growing my own petunias years ago, and I never bothered to look up how or why or what I needed to do. It was kind of before YouTube really became a thing. So when I started growing my petunia seeds, I never had the ones that had pellets. Like these have been pellet. They've got a pelleted coating on them. I don't know if you can see that very well, but petunia seed is like dust. If it's uncoated, it's very, very tiny. It's like dust. And I never had any idea in my head that they were hard to grow. And so I would just bought a packet, and because they were so small, I would just sprinkle them over the surface of an open cell pack like this. Like I would use one of these, and I would just sprinkle the seed over it because it was so small. And I never actually had any problems with them growing. I mean, you do have to prick them out and transplant them into a cell pack of some kind or some larger container. That's probably the most difficult part, because that's probably where you can do the most damage. But I never found them difficult at all to grow. So there's lots of videos out there showing you how to do it. And some say, oh, they're challenging, and others say, no, they're not. So I think it all depends on your skill level, I suppose, and just how much work you want to do and how much work you don't want to do. Like, I don't mind doing the transplanting. I like that. I like getting my hands in the soil. It's enjoyable. It's an enjoyable process for me. So, but other people may not like that, having to pull them out and transplant them because they're worried that they might harm them or something. And that's fair. So, but for me, petunias have never been difficult to grow. So if you've never grown them, I encourage you to at least try them. And you can, like I said, you can get, there they all go. You can get seeds that are covered, that have pellets. So I just spilt them everywhere. Oh my goodness, I have to clean this up. My bad. I'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we got that sorted. Most of the seed landed in the tray, thankfully. So like I said before, I'm okay with multi-sowing. I'm okay with pulling them apart and transplanting. So stuff happens, right? Stuff happens. This is real. Life is real. All right. So like I was saying, I encourage you to try growing your own petunias. They are, a good standby flower for the garden, and you can get scented varieties, which is what I usually go for. This year, a lot of these I'm growing for the plant sale, so I'm going more for show than for scent. But I do have like the Evening Sensation, which is scented, so that's more for me than anything else. But you can shop around. You can get seed that does have the pellets, so it's easier to. It's still pretty small, but it is at least easier to see and to handle, rather than the unpelleted stuff. I'm not sure if I can show you what the regular stuff looks like. What's in here is this. Oh, it's got pellets. I know the Blue Daddy petunias are scented. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna open up one of these so I can try and show you what the seed normally looks like, because it is pretty small. It's pretty tiny. If I can get this open. There we go. Yeah, usually. Okay, so they've got an inner envelope, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but there's little specks. There's little tiny specks in the envelope. That's the petunia seed. It's really tiny. It's like dust. So, but you know, don't let that put you off from trying it. Just because it's small doesn't mean it's hard to grow. All right, so let's continue on with these. What did I say this was? The Candy Pops Concord. I'll have to do up a tag for it. Let's try not to spill them this time. So there we go. We've got different colors on the pellets. I wonder if that's indicative of the color of the flower. So what I might do with some of these, I was going to only put one per cell. Now I'm thinking I might put 2 per cell just to try and save on space, because these ones are going to be transplanted anyway into the individual pots, into the 3-inch pots, so it's probably not going to matter too much if they're overseeded or multi-sowed. So it will help us conserve space here in the basement. The basement is where we're storing a lot of our stuff, and we're probably going to have to make some changes to make room for a few more tables and some more lights as things get going. I mean, with the mild winter, we might be able to move some stuff up to the greenhouse. We can heat the greenhouse to a certain extent, but if it drops, much below -10, then everything would have to be brought back in, and so we don't really want to be moving plants back and forth if we can help it. So what kind of flowers are you growing in your garden? I'm hoping to grow a good wide assortment. I've got lots of seeds for different flowers. I got marigold seeds, I got snapdragon seeds, I got some different ones this year. I think I've got some coreopsis. I got lots of poppy seeds. I gotta figure out how to grow poppy seeds. I've seen lots of videos where they do the winter sowing, which I'm actually tempted to try it. And if we do it now, and if we stick it in the unheated greenhouse, it'd probably be okay. That's a thought, hey? That's a great thought. Okay, so now I've sown all the pellets. I'm not going to cover it. What I am going to do is just press the seed pellets into the soil a little bit, just to make sure there's a nice, good contact, making sure the seeds don't stick to my fingers, because that happens too. And then what I'm going to do is bottom water. Well, everything will get bottom watered, like today. Everything that we started today will get bottom watered. And then even when they come up, we'll probably continue to bottom water them, because they are small. So when the plants come up, they will be very tiny. And so you don't want to be pouring water over top of them, because that may damage them. So we will bottom water them until they get a little bit bigger, and then when we go to do some fertilizing, we will do that over the top once they're transplanted. So yes, there we go. We got our petunias started. Yay! That's awesome sauce. Now I had tags here. Well, there we go. My tags are all just disappearing on me. Okay, so that was the Candy Pops. Candy Pops. Yes. There we go. So So I'm just gonna put one tag in the tray because the whole tray is the same thing. If I had 2 or 3 different varieties, each cell pack or little cell would get its own tag. So I'm going to continue on with my petunias, and hopefully this time I don't spill them everywhere. And yeah, so I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're having a great Sunday. It's a beautiful day here. Hope if you're getting your garden going, good for you. If you're still thinking about it, well, good for you too. I encourage you to get some stuff going. Yeah, the season started, you know, a little over a month and a half away from spring. Yay. So yeah, okay. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here. Please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button. Thank you for subscribing if you already have. That's the one thing I cannot do without you is grow my channel. So thank you so much. So until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week ahead. Until next time, take care.